I'm Ruth Ann.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geek Chic Promotions. Welcome back for Weekend Rage or Nerd Rage. So we are having our drinks today. This is still our Chrisky, which is a amazing whiskey that the lovely Chris aged in a barrel herself. So cheers.
Cheers. I have a lot of it, by the way.
Should I even risk trying to fix yours? It's like too low now.
You too. You're kind of shaky.
Yeah, sorry. We're gonna give you. I know it was. Milk was a bad choice.
Okay.
Hey, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna share this around on the Book of Faces. Chris, why don't you get us started with what we're talking about today?
You guys, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about crossovers that have really sucked and crossovers that are really amazing, and then we're going to put together the crossovers we wish we could see.
Yeah, so and we're talking either different IP or same IP. Either way, we want to see it. We want to be a part of it. YouTube, I'm gonna fix you. Sorry. Us have technical difficulties while we're doing our that's not how we roll at all. Hello, hand. Big hands. It's like, what do you call it from Seinfeld? She's big hands. All right, hold on. I think that did nothing. So somebody's boyfriend might have thrown out somebody's.
Maybe. We don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know what happened.
We won't blame you. Yeah,
but I might
Marcus.
just shrink down in my seat so that our heads aren't cut off on YouTube.
What's up? Hey, let's just bring this all down a notch. Let's just lean back. I think
it's just gonna keep sinking, and pretty soon it's just gonna be on the table, like pointed right down. It's fine, guys. Anyway,
yes, let me share this around.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
God.
I'm going to give this.
Okay, you're gonna give it a shot. Guys, I love you all. We're such messes.
All right, I think that might be it. It might sink down again, but we'll see.
Okay.
What if I did this? Knew the kind of rigging we had here. You would die laughing.
Yeah, maybe I'll even take a picture of it. There we go. Kind of.
Anyway, this is hysterical.
Oh, okay. Moving on.
Right. So, anyway, crossovers.
Well,
guys.
and we'll talk about it. Kind of how it started is that I, as we all saw, the Captain Marvel pictures came out.
Yes.
And they look great, but can we just rage for a second of how like fake that was? Of just like, hey, let's break the internet. Yeah, it wasn't planned. All right. Yeah, that's your drink.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, also I was kind of hoping for a trailer for Captain Marvel, but we didn't get one.
We didn't
Instead,
get.
we just got some pictures.
And we also saw pictures of things we already kind of knew.
Yeah. So, well.
Yeah. What up? Good to see you.
So, what I would like to do is start off with one of my favorite crossovers of all time. And
I know exactly what this is.
We're talking TV and we're talking movies. We're talking both. So, I would just like to say that one of my all-time favorites was the Supernatural Scooby episode. Because it was... I originally put off watching it for like 3 weeks. So I was like, what is this? Stupid, jumping the shark, all that other nonsense. And then I really ended up liking it because it was awesome.
It was incredible. And I'm still surprised that because who owns that IP? Like how, and because Scooby-Doo is still
it's
on,
CW,
right?
So it's Warner Brothers. It's all Warner Brothers.
Right, I didn't think of that. Because I keep forgetting that CW is Warner Brothers.
Yeah, but they're just two properties that you wouldn't normally cross over, which they did. And it worked.
Oh my God, I just totally forgot about the Muppets and Angel crossover that was also incredible.
Oh yeah!
When they all became
Muppets. That's right. I don't know if that one was one of my favorites, but it was definitely unique. But also, I mean, Angel and Buffy crossed over all the time, and it was always awesome.
It was always awesome.
You know, it got me into watching Angel when it finally, split and went into the different series and did a shoot-off of it. So that was great. Anyway, there's been like a whole history of crossovers, that have been amazing, that have introduced new fan bases and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and comic books even did it for a long time, having within the Marvel.
Having two crossovers, yeah, absolutely, which was great because whenever they did it, and my favorite especially used to be at Image Comics because, all the creators own their own properties. So having a crossover was even more special because, I even edited one of the crossovers that was called The Pact, which was a crossover between Kirkman's Invincible, who else? Oh, Fire Breather at the time was out, and
that's right.
Shadowhawk, and there was one more that I can't remember. But anyway, it was a super cool crossover because all these different universes came together and they had to fight one big battle, and it was amazing, and they all interacted with each other, but they're all written by the original creators, and so it was like this big conglomeration of like, you know, authentic voices, but also like in a brand new storyline, you know, fish out of water type thing, and it was so fun. And I used to love when like two of my favorite comics would like cross over, you know, into each other and being a brand new storyline. So
well, yeah, and I always just read X-Men, so anything of Thor, anything of like reading Spider-Man or anything like that was always when they crossed over with X-Men, and that's how I was introduced to so many different ones. But like it's really frustrating with, you know, especially let's say with Marvel, of all the different people owning different stuff. And I wanted to come together. Like I was so excited to see the Captain Marvel stuff, but what I want to see is then like the whole thing later on with Rogue and her, of her stealing all her powers and putting her into a coma and like all that kind of stuff. Like
we were reading about conversations about like between the Krull and the Skree, and like who owns what and who could use what, and it became very frustrating because you sit there and you go, okay, Fox owned all these different properties that they weren't allowed to use in the Marvel Universe, including like a version of Spider-Man, and also the Fantastic Four. So you've never been able to see some of these properties done well, because in order to retain the rights, Fox had to just crap out a movie in order to like retain it. So you get the crappy Fantastic Four movie that like, that wasn't done right.
Nope.
You know, and I don't know, it was kind of a bummer. And it's like, for people who always have wanted to see Doctor Doom done really well and correctly, and who have like this amazing affinity for the character, and it's like all you get are these crappy movies that Fox puts out. It's like, what the hell, man?
Because like, it was somebody you said that was just like, hey, I'd love to see Doctor Doom versus the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and everybody, by the way, like Subsal, good to see you. RCA Films, he did the quote that I
get it together,
get all your shit, put it in a bag, and get it together.
Yep.
Oh, so he already said one that he really wants to see, which is Rick and Morty and Simpsons. Man, Rick oh my gosh, Rick picking up Bart, and Bart just being scarred for life.
Yeah, I feel like that's God, you know, there would be some really good crossovers with Rick and Morty though. Like that's, I mean, you could do Rick and Morty and Doctor Who.
Yeah, I was just going to say, oh my god, like the fact that the music is so unashamedly the fucking music from Doctor Who is so good.
Yeah.
You know, even, so we were talking about like a lot of the crossovers that are happening right now on TV. So there's obviously like the Arrowverse, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, and Flash. But I love the Constantine like flip in there, because Constantine stopped by. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like the Constantine in the Arrowverse. I didn't like that cross, because all of a sudden we had this new like flashback to the island that was like, what is this mystical shit going on in Arrow?
Also, I feel like they lean on that island shit too much. Which
I know somebody told me that this last season has gotten a lot better, but it's like that's a lot to wade through.
Oh God, I know. I mean,
so that was one I feel like was done wrong, but it would be really fun to see Doctor Who, because even on Legends, Constantine makes a Doctor Who joke.
Okay, I'm going to blow your mind with something.
Okay, oh god, guys, you ready? And also, please comment with anything you'd like to see or saw and was terrible of crossover stuff. Comment below. I got you both on YouTube and on Facebook.
All right, you guys, what if we did a crossover between Star Trek and Star Wars? Would fans not lose their shit?
Well, here's the problem, Chris.
Okay, tell me what the problem is, because, you know, with crossovers,
there has to be a time. There has to be a time thing, because technically, Star Wars is long time ago, and Star Trek is in the future.
Yeah, but couldn't.
That's what I'm saying. There would have to be a time jump thing, which has happened in
But we're no
Star
longer
Trek.
a long time ago. I mean, we're advancing. We're going
That's true.
forward.
So basically either Star Trek or Star Wars would have to hit a wormhole that they would travel them in time to the other universe.
Or Star Trek, we could just tell like, well, yeah, actually.
Right?
Yeah. That would work.
Break the internet. Because remember, because here's the thing, and I think we talked about this, of why people went crazy about Solo.
Anything can be done.
Yeah.
Anything.
But and if you guys didn't see our Nerd Rage about Solo, it's a very fascinating Nerd Rage, because we liked it, but we had some issues. But one of my biggest issues is that Star Wars, the reason that there's always, when we were growing up, a big issue of Star Wars fans versus Star Trek fans is Star Trek is very hard sci-fi. Star Wars is very spiritual and all that kind of stuff with the Force and da-da-da. So it was a very different,
Absolutely.
that's what really defined the difference. And with Solo, you took out the Force because you can't have the Force in the first movie, or he would have known about the Force and then therefore would not make any sense when he saw the Force and was like, it's fake. Anyways. Let me just hold on, guys. Woo! Damn it! I get on a tangent.
I bunch of nerdery happening.
Let me take my nerd out. There we go. But so it would be really interesting to bring them together because there has been some mystical stuff that happens on Star Trek.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Well, and it's always like exploring new things and discovering new things, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Of it, you know. So it's like almost like, well, what if we had something where they found out scientifically what the Force was?
Well, they already did midichlorian count in your
Well, I know,
bloodstream.
but like, yeah, exactly, but like in a different way though.
But what I like that a lot of
like if you go into like what is a midichlorian count?
yeah. So what I like about, and I know this is still crazy that I like Legends of Tomorrow now. Sorry guys, I really do like it. But they always compare. They find ways of saying, well, just science. Like the mystical is just science that we haven't understood yet.
Yes.
And so in that way, I don't feel like we should do the midichlorian count or whatever.
Well, I also feel like, you know, you could just get a Vulcan in there and be like, all right, figure this out. And just have them,
Okay, so Justice League and Avengers, didn't that actually happen in a comic book? Wasn't there there was one comic book that I read that was really fascinating because they switched universes. So the Avengers were in the DC universe and the Justice League was in the Marvel universe. And it was really interesting because like there's in the DC universe, they love their heroes. So when the Avengers showed up in the DC universe, they're like, they like us? What is going on? And then when Justice League was in the Marvel universe, it's like, why are they so mean? Like, why do they hate us so much?
It's kind of accurate, to be
Yeah,
honest.
and also it was interesting because Scarlet Witch and what is the mystical one on the Justice League? It's fuck.
Who are you talking about?
I can't think of it now because the comic book was a long time ago. But basically, Scarlet Witch, when she was in the DC universe, her powers started going crazy because it was a different world and a different dark energy. So like if she stayed there, she would have destroyed the entire universe. Oof. It was like this really cool thing. Somebody correct me on the name of the comic book because it was like a mind-blowing thing. But it was really, really good. But we were talking about ones that we would love to see. And guys, again, mention any ones that you really want to see.
Yeah.
And so, yes,
so
yours was...
Oh, mine was a whole bunch crossover with Supernatural. I was like, I would love to see X-Files crossover with Supernatural. I'd love to see Charmed crossover with Supernatural.
I want to see Doctor Who and Supernatural because in Doctor Who, everything that's like spooky is actually an alien versus in Supernatural, everything that people think is an alien is something spooky. You know what I mean? It's like always something.
Yep. And also, we had talked about Firefly and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, how great would it be Captain Mal Reynolds versus Star-Lord? Like, come on.
That'd be pretty great.
That'd be amazing.
It would. I have to agree with that. Like, when Ruthann came up with that, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm 100% in.
I'm 100%. Because, like, it's so good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like, in terms of movies crossing over things, like, honestly, you know, Justice League and the Avengers would be epic. And I have to wonder, like, how that would mesh. Like, that really intrigues me. And
I think DC just needs to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
a
bit. Sorry, DC. Like, I'd like to see how Shazam turns out, because, like...
Yeah, I know. I wasn't really on board with Shazam. I was like...
Really? I'm so on board for the trailer.
I was like...
But again, that might be because I'm not a Shazam
and
a DC fan. Like, that might be what it is.
Yeah, I'm just reserving judgment on it. 90s comics, really? I'm sorry, I'm reading comments here from YouTube. Any live-action adaptation?
Stockholm. Cheers, hey, buddy.
Wow, Stockholm.
Yeah, hey.
That's awesome.
What's your name? Charles. Nice to meet you, Charles, from Stockholm. What's up? Cheers.
So any live-action adaptation of any of the 90s amalgam comics. So that was one of the suggestions. That's a lot to get through, to be honest.
Yeah.
But also, why not?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
Well, and it's interesting, whenever people talk about crossovers, they always talk about verses. And I think it was Stan Lee who said the best thing, because everybody kept asking, like, oh, Hulk versus whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, who's writing it?
Yeah.
That's who's gonna win. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's all about who writes it. Of
It's
like
true.
the excuse of like,
And I don't think it necessarily needs to be that way. Like I feel like, well, in some cases, like when we do Star Trek versus Star Wars, okay,
Yeah.
yes, sort of. But when we do something like Justice League and the Avengers, man, they could team up. They're not on opposite sides.
Yeah.
Aren't they all like fighting for the same thing?
yeah.
Sort of.
I mean, it could be a moment
Yeah.
like in Infinity Wars when
Anybody named Martha? On the,
yeah, Martha.
on the Marvel side.
Why did you say that name?
See, I mentioned it just for that. Just for that.
I think, is that going to be our thing every week? You find a way to get me to say, why did you say that name?
Yes.
Sorry for any new watchers.
I would like a crossover between the two Marthas. That's what I would like. Let's just get the moms.
Wasn't there
Let's
a
get the moms
joke?
in there,
Yeah, right,
man.
let's get the moms. Wouldn't that be a funny sketch of having all the moms of the superheroes and like Aunt May and all that kind of stuff like in a room, just be like, so,
Hilarious.
and then like somehow there'd be an argument, be like, no, I know how to raise my super child. No, I know how to raise my super child.
Wow. What if we did like group therapy?
Family therapy.
Family therapy.
Write this down, guys. We're stealing all your stuff.
We're
Wait, so-
geniuses.
Martha Stewart.
Oh, there we go. Add Martha Stewart in. Yes.
They're all
we
cooking
love
with
Martha's-
They're all
just
cooking with Martha Stewart.
Talking about their sons and stuff, you know.
On like a cooking show, because
Yeah.
they're famous now because you find out whose moms there are.
So good, you guys. That's it. We've come up with such a
We got
winning
it.
idea.
Uh,
Oh God.
oh yes, Sal was asking how he's listening to and watching us because he doesn't really he doesn't have any opinions about his favorites, but he wanted to know how our Labor Day weekends were. I was at DragonCon. Sorry guys, halfway through I stopped posting because my phone broke. What
Yeah.
did you do this weekend?
Over Labor Day weekend, God, I did a lot, man. The best thing I did was go to John Williams in concert at the Hollywood Bowl.
That's right.
And Steven Spielberg was there, guys.
What?
And he
Pow,
totally
pow.
introduced like Indiana Jones, and we got to watch like clips of it without music and then with the live music, so we could see the difference. And God, the E.T. one, all of us were crying. There was not one
Single
person
dry in the
who was
house.
not crying over E.T. and watching that. It was crazy. Oh, it was so good. It made me want to watch everything all over again, like honestly. And you just realize how vast his he is like the Mozart of our age. And they were talking about like how movie soundtracks used to be like the redheaded stepchild of music. Like, so when you had these composers and they were in orchestras and everything else, like John Williams was basically like an outcast because everyone was like, oh, you're like slumming it by doing movie scores, like, oh, loser. And then all of a sudden,
It blew
like,
up, yeah.
because of him, it blew up, guys.
It changed
And that
everything.
it changed everything. And all the amount of lightsabers that were in the crowd, you guys, like when the Star Wars theme come on. Oh, and then he did the Darth Vader theme song, and people went freaking nuts, just absolutely nuts. I mean, the energy of the crowd was just so incredible. It was like, I mean, I don't know, it was just really weird. It was just so cool and so amazing, and it was really one of the best
I'm
things
so
I've
glad.
ever
So
been to.
I've gone a couple times, and every time I'm like, I wish Chris was here. And I wish Chris, no, because it was before I met you. It was one of the 2 times that I went. And I'm like, and she's always wanted to go. And I'm like,
Always
oh,
wanted
she
to
needs
go.
to go.
Yeah.
For all the new people, we kind of skipped right into nerd rave. So generally on our nerd rages, we start off with like, we rage about some stuff and then we have a rave at the end. But somebody actually brought up a really fun one that I think would be great for a crossover. So this is Charles. He said, how did I get up here? Love the conversation. What about a newer, better version of Transformers versus Avengers?
Oh!
So on board for that, Charles.
Yes, I am
on board.
Oh my God, you guys.
Guys.
Okay.
Guys.
First of all,
Well done,
I
Charles.
love
From Stockholm.
Transformers.
Well
okay?
played.
Like that is my jam, and we're actually. I can't even talk.
Bumblebee. So excited.
Okay, so they're releasing the Transformers cartoon movie back onto the big screen.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
When?
And, I don't know, but I know I already have a ticket.
I don't
Thanks
know.
to a certain someone, which
How
is
is that?
great. So I don't even care. I'm going, and I am so freaking stoked for it. I'm such a fan of Transformers, like, because that was my age range period, by the way. Like, my brother had all of the Transformers, and I totally snuck into his room and played with all of them. And I'm like, I like the purple one. You know, I swear to God.
Robots, roll out.
I swear, I am such a huge fan of Transformers. I remember seeing it in the theater when I was a kid. I am so on board for Transformers and Avengers. That would be so freaking epic. I wouldn't even know what to do with myself.
What? Oh, now I'm thinking like Transformers versus Gundam.
Oh, like Transformers, anything.
Just like
I'm on
anything.
board. I'm on board.
I just said an anime. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, what?
I don't know about that.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe I shouldn't try my But yeah, that would be so something. Yeah.
Voltron and Power Rangers.
Voltron, yeah, see, and that's another one.
That's another really good one.
You know? Yeah.
Man, yeah. I'm on board, guys. Like, and that's the thing, is that crossovers can be so good, and yet there are some times that it fails so hard.
Yeah.
Well, and also, like, here's
really
the thing, is that universes are run on different forms of energy. Like, that's my only concern when it comes to, like, Star Wars and Star Trek. But because the way the IP has changed so much over the last few years, with like the newer Star Wars movies and the way Star Trek is going,
very true.
Like they're actually kind of aligning a little bit more, and that's fine. But it's one of those things that they
really
could be.
It's kind of funny because when I think about it, I think, okay, like you just need a good writer, to be honest.
Doctor Who and Doctor Strange, that would be amazing. Because Doctor Strange would be like, you're not actually a doctor. Like, and like their egos would be so, that'd be so good. And then Charles also saw John Williams live.
And he said I would cry.
He would cry,
Yeah.
and then he did
saw
see
Hans Zimmer. Yeah. See, exactly, dude. You know what I'm talking about. That
It's amazing how
life-changing.
How music makes.
By the way, John Williams. This was his 70th. No.
What?
I feel like it was his 50th or 60th anniversary or 40th or something like that. I can't remember.
It has to be around 50.
I think it was. It was
It's
a
got to be around
huge
50th,
one.
right? Because Star Wars
At the Hollywood Bowl, playing at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
So it was an anniversary, which is why Spielberg was there.
My first
Which,
time.
by the way, after like Spielberg got done with his stuff, Star Wars came out, which is George Lucas, and when the crowd went nuts, I was like, I wonder how Spielberg feels about that.
Yeah, right.
As he's
like
walking off the stage and he hears like the cheers for Star Wars. I was like, I wonder if he's like, that son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I mean, you're probably just like, yeah, I get it, Star Wars. But for me, like my first time seeing John Williams, I didn't realize that there was these little stands that were selling like those flip out lightsabers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, as soon as Star Wars music came on, everybody flipped them on, turned them on, and started doing this in time.
Yep.
Like, and it was this crazy. I took like a video on my really old phone many years ago, and it was just this crazy thing of seeing an entire like
so
stadium.
Epic. It is really epic. I mean, that's thousands of people just all together.
All together now, yeah. And it is crazy how in movies the music really makes a difference and like the swell, and you get so excited.
Yes.
And I feel like video games are getting on board with that too.
God, they should. If they don't, they're like, what's the holdup?
Yeah.
Like at this point, And I think Marcus worked with Hans Zimmer, or.
Of course he did.
Yeah, of course he did. No, actually, I think Hans Zimmer was on board to work with him, and then he got called on to something else, and I can't remember what it was. It was something amazing, of course, and so he didn't, but he recommended Marcus's current composer. So that's the story that I was told, which is pretty awesome. So apparently, very nice gentlemen, both of them.
Excellent. It's always good to hear that.
Always good to hear. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, as you can tell, we weren't really angry at much of the news this week.
There was we looked through the news, and besides Captain Marvel stuff coming out, honestly,
and
it's
we
more
were
the
fine.
same, guys.
Yeah,
It's
we were
just
fine
more the
with.
same.
Yeah, exactly. Like we
Yeah.
don't want to. If you
Don't
watch,
beat a dead horse.
yeah,
here,
and also we want to make it so our new viewers can go back and watch stuff. And it's not like we're saying the same things over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's the usual. Like, we wish they had done a little more for the Captain Marvel release, because they made it sound like, oh, they're gonna break the internet. What they gonna show? And it was like pictures of stuff that we'd already seen. It's like, all right.
It was all right.
Anyways.
So we were monitoring work chat, guys, like on our Slack channels, and to see what people are interested in. And on my work chat, there was a whole bunch of discussion about, the Avengers and Fantastic Four and stuff like that. Just it kind of devolved into it. But like on yours, wasn't there something? It was like a very similar discussion of.
Oh yeah, we're all nerds. We all
Everyone
have
knows
the same shit.
stuff. You post something, and everyone's like, wow, to go
The scroll and the screen and all that kind of stuff. So what I love that's happening right now on our YouTube channel is that people are commenting to each other. So Charles mentions Doctor Strange versus Doctor Who. That would be one hell of a sexy ER. And then RCA Films says Doctor Strange in House.
Actually,
I want that so bad.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Because House would be so mad because like Doctor Strange show up and just be like, I fix it now, and he's like, no, the mystery, the figuring out what it is. I know.
Yeah, but I mean, Doctor Strange, he's a medical doctor. He's like one of the best surgeons.
Yeah.
He'd just be like,
yeah, between now the mystical arts that he knows and like this, that, the other, so funny. That would be and the egos. That's the greatest thing about a lot of these lead characters that we love so much. They have these aggressive egos, and
well,
they put them
to be fair, that's very realistic.
No, it is. It's very realistic. I mean, like, look at when
It
they
really
when they
is.
finally had Tony Stark and Star-Lord in the same, Peter
Yeah.
Quill in the same, like, and it was just like, okay, your plan sucks, so let's do mine.
Yeah.
Like all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
this
It's like-
sounds real good, except that it sucks.
yeah, all that kind of fun stuff.
All
But yeah,
that.
it's very true and it's very fun. I mean, that's the reason we like
Yeah.
it. It's very true to life. But
Which, by the way, I still stand by my statement that when they did Thor and made it funnier, because I just rewatched it again, the latest Thor.
the Ragnarok.
The Ragnarok.
Oh, because
When
it's
they
on
redid
Netflix
that,
and I've rewatched it so many times. 'Cause
like,
it's so GD
they
funny.
100% saved that character's movies because that was the only one. What do we look
Sorry,
at?
Doctor Strange versus Dr. Quinn. You
Medicine
guys.
Woman? Dr.
Yes,
Quinn, Medicine
yes.
Woman?
You guys are nailing it. Fantastic Four versus The Incredibles,
Incredibles.
which is that's amazing because it's the same.
That's good, man.
Come on, man, you guys
Yeah,
rule.
you on
Yeah,
our show.
I know, right?
Damn.
Shoot.
Shoot.
Oh, Terminator
and RoboCop.
Sal nailed it.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that would be epic.
Oh, I got one. Punisher versus Judge Dredd.
Oh, fight to the death?
Oh, or even better yet, they're after the same person, but they like that cause a conflict between them.
Ooh, yeah.
Guys, put a pin in this. We just started a whole new thing.
We might have to discuss this after
Right?
the show's
This is-
over.
I
and
know, we've got a little
get into
overtime, but I
this.
know we started a little late,
All
so,
right. Yeah.
whew, getting
All
into
right.
this, so the drinks are hitting us now. We're
Good, guys.
the Krisky.
Good stuff.
You
Good
guys
stuff.
rock. All right,
Yeah.
so.
All right.
Oh, man. All right,
We'll
so
wrap this up.
everybody keep on top of what the nerd news is this week. If there's something that pops up for you guys, please comment either on our Facebook page,
On
YouTube,
YouTube,
and
wherever.
Twitter, wherever.
Yeah,
We're
wherever.
everywhere.
We are.
Because we're always looking for what's a nerd rage about. And again, it's always a positive thing. It's that we're
Yeah.
very passionate
Passionate, man.
about what we love.
Discussing things.
and we want to discuss it.
Yeah.
But you guys rock. Thank you again. YouTube, we're going to try to turn you off. And then I'm going to take a picture of how our little setup is right now for the YouTube camera. Because it's pretty incredible. And then, yeah, I'm going to share, I don't know how, I think it's going to be, we're just going to share it everywhere because it's ridiculous.
The Schmodown?
The Schmodown, I don't know about the
I don't know about
Schmodown,
that. You'll have to
Charles. You
check it
got
out.
yeah, you'll have to tell us about that. But guys, thank you. This is super fun every week with you guys. So
Yes.
please, for the new viewers, go check out our other stuff, and then we'll see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yep.
All right, but I'm gonna turn on Facebook and then all YouTube. We're gonna have a time figure out how to turn you off. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah.